It's Tuesday, which means it's time to cook up something tasty for you, something crunchy. And I know that the market is trending in the wrong direction at the moment, but that doesn't mean you can't stop learning. Today, we're covering Convex, which is a platform for boosting your Curve staking rewards. And why would we want to do that? Well, it's because Curve is, how to be nice about it, somewhat complicated. To do this tutorial, you are going to need some CRV tokens, but that is it. So make sure you get hold of some of those. But for now, let's just take a quick word from our sponsor. Do you remember your first DeFi transaction? After juggling 5 or more tabs on your browser, you gazed at that Etherscan confirmation feeling like you just contributed to the future of finance, except you got quickly lost in a world of gas prices, vaults, pools, hard forks, degenerates, and sushi chefs. Fortunately, Xerion has built the dream tool for managing your portfolio. Track all your token balances across wallets and chains, access every kind of DeFi asset, including indexes, pools, and yield strategies, and trade at the cheapest rates with no extra fees. That is because Xerion sources liquidity from every decentralized exchange, like your boy Uniswap, like 0x, and the main man 1inch. No sign-up required, no fees, and a blissfully easy UI. Simply connect your wallet at app.xerion.io. So today we're talking about Convex, and in particular we're talking about Curve. Now Curve has a very dear place in my heart because our video about the Curve launch way last year was the one that kind of set the template for what the Defiant has become as a video channel. So I kind of have a soft spot for the protocol, but in many ways it's a hard one to love because if you look at the UI, it has this kind of old school MS-DOS feel to it. And in many ways, it sort of just says, well, get on with it, figure it out. It's quite simple, but the staking rewards and the way that you can lock up CRV tokens to get a boost, because everybody wants that boost, yeah, is a little bit complicated. In fact, it's so complicated, I spent 2 days trying to figure out what was going on here, because it may look as if I know what I'm talking about, but most of the time, 24 hours before I make a video, I have zero clue, like literally no clue at all what I'm doing. And I have to spend a lot of time figuring it out, digging my way through all the different tokens that are out there. And that is, Curve in particular eludes analysis. It makes life difficult. I don't know what I'm talking about, but basically I find Curve quite difficult. So if we dig into the Curve documentation, you can see that you can boost your CRV rewards. And basically, CRV is Curve's governance token, and it was one of the first big governance tokens like Comp that really kind of kickstarted DeFi summer last year. Now, what you can do is with your CRV tokens, you can lock them up in what's called vote locking. And there's different levels of vote locking you can do. The maximum is 4 years, but there are shorter ones. And over the course of 4 years, if you lock up CRV tokens, you will earn an equivalent amount of VE CRV tokens. These are the vote-locked CRV tokens. And basically, the longer you lock tokens up, the more voting power you have. But also, on top of that, you get a 2.5x boost on your rewards for doing so. So basically, what they're doing is saying governance tokens are a bit of a meme, to be honest. And a lot of projects were launching with governance tokens, but they didn't really do anything. And also, it was very easy for whales to accumulate them and sell them. What Curve has done is they've set up a system of incentives that say, the longer you stay in our system, the more commitment you show to us, the greater the rewards and the greater the power you have. So it's rewarding people who are actually active and contributing to the protocol, which is, I think it's a pretty good little system. But the problem is it's actually quite complicated. So there are different timescales you can lock your Curve up. You've got 1 week, 1 month, 6 months, 1 year, 4 years. And there are also different ways that you can figure out the boost that you're going to get. There's a formula here. There's a calculator here. You can plug. I've tried to go through this a few times, and I just get to a point where I'm like, I can't be asked, genuinely. To the rescue comes Convex. What Convex is hoping to do is take all of that, what we've just been through, stick it under the hood, make it super, super easy. And the way they do that is they say, if we all work as one big pool to get this better boost on CRV, it will make it a lot easier for us, A, to get people in and out of a boosted token. And it will also mean that we can give you extra rewards as well for doing so. Which is good for everyone, basically. So what they do is they take the tokens that you would stake in to get this 2.5x boost, and then they issue a different token, another token, which acts as a kind of derivative on top of that. And that derivative represents your share of the boost, but it's also a token that isn't locked up, because when you put your tokens into vote locking, they're locked up. You can't access them, and it's not reversible either. So once you put them in, you can't get them out. It's quite a big commitment. With Convex, you can put your tokens into the system, and you get issued a liquid token, which you can then trade. You can't actually unpack the CRV that you locked up to begin with. That's gone. But the token itself that you are issued, which is, I believe, let me see if I get this right. I think it's VECVX. Or is it CVX? See, this is how complicated all this stuff is. But you get another token, and that token can then be redeemed for CRV. There's a liquidity pool for that. So if we look, let me just go back here. It gives you two different options. So you can stake your liquidity provider tokens if you're providing liquidity on Curve, or you can just put CRV tokens to work staking. So there's a couple of different routes in here. So if you're a liquidity provider, you'll deposit your Curve LP tokens. You'll automatically begin earning CRV with the group boost applied. So remember, all these CRV tokens that are put into Convex all go into one pool to stake to get locked up for that 2.5x reward, and they don't get touched. CRV is earned over time, claim rewards and it fits your schedule, and withdraw your Curve LP tokens at any time. So it's giving you much more flexibility in terms of getting your tokens in and out. If you're just staking CRV, which is what we're going to do today, you can deposit any amount of CRV tokens into Convex. Then, yes, here we are. You receive CVX CRV tokens in exchange for providing CRV. So that CVX CRV token represents your claim on the boost rewards. Then you'll receive a share of the total CRV rewards. You'll earn Curve platform trading fees, but you'll also earn CVX tokens. And with those CVX tokens, you can then stake them to earn, more CVX rewards. So there's an additional rewards layer on top of that, because it's Convex's own token that they can reward you with for using their platform rather than going directly with Curve. So what we're going to do now is go and stake. So I already bought some CRV tokens. I bought 100 this morning. You will need those before you can do this. But what's important to bear in mind is it's just the general user experience of doing this compared to what I was doing here. So first off, we're going to click on stake, and that will open up an app. If you might need to connect your MetaMask to do that. So the first thing we're going to need to do is set how many Curve tokens we want to stake. I want to do 100. And then I need to approve that. That's the first step, as is normal with these kind of things. So approve the token, approve the Convex to spend my CRV. And we'll just let that go through. Okay, so that's now approved. I can do the next step, which is to convert and stake. So let's just run through what it's saying here. It says convert CRV to CVX CRV. By staking CVX CRV, you're earning the usual rewards from VECRV. That's the governance token that we talked about, which entitles you to governance fee distribution from Curve plus any airdrop. Now, I couldn't find out too much about these airdrops, but occasionally tokens will get dropped to people who own that token, and you will get those as well. Plus, you get a share of 10% of the Convex LP's boosted CRV earnings, plus CVX tokens on top of that. And then the important bit, converting CRV to CVX CRV is irreversible. So once you've done this, it's done. You may stake and unstake CVX CRV tokens, but not convert them back to CRV. So that's where we would need to look at a secondary market to convert CVX CRV to CRV. So obviously there'll be a liquidity pool. People will be incentivized to provide liquidity to that pool, which means that you or I or anybody else can then convert our CVX CRV back to CRV. Still with me? So now we're going to convert and stake it. You can actually stake LP tokens, and the platform makes it pretty easy. If you wanted to, for instance, stake tokens from a USDT pool, you can actually do it directly from within the app here. So this would open up the pool, and then we would be able to deposit the tokens into this pool. which would create an LP token, which we could then stake in here. But we're not going to do that because we're just going to stake CRV at the moment. So we're now going to do convert and stake. So this is converting irreversibly the CRV tokens into CVX CRV tokens. And now we wait.
One eternity later.
Okay, that is now completed. So if we look at the dashboard now, we can see up here, it says my CVX CRV state, 100.23 CVX CRV. Tells me the APR, which is 113%. And it's breaking that down in terms of all the different things that are contributing to that return. And it tells me that I've earned, ooh, look at that. You can see it going up in real time. That's always nice to see. And bear in mind here, I've put like $150 in. It's not really very much. It's just for the sake of a demonstration here. But it's always nice to see these things almost immediately start paying back, even if it is a tiny sum. But scale that up and could be quite good here. And bear in mind that Curve is very much considered a blue chip DeFi protocol here, alongside the likes of Balancer and Aava and Uniswap. These are really kind of the core, well thought of DeFi protocols, and particularly Curve because it allows very large transactions between stablecoins with minimal slippage, which is quite an important piece of the DeFi puzzle. So that's Convex, and basically what will happen here is that we'll be able to claim, once this starts to rack up a little bit, we'll be able to claim the rewards. But once, if you want to do that, you can do it through the claim tab here. And then if you want to start using your CVX, we'll earn CVX off the back of this. And with that CVX, we can then stake in this stake tab here. You could also provide liquidity on SushiSwap to a pool there if you wanted to, but you can do a simple basic staking, and you will then earn CVX CRV tokens in return. So I thought you were getting more CVX tokens. You don't. You get CVX CVR tokens. So once again, it's one of those things where you have to really kind of understand what the different tokens are doing, but what I like about this is you get the flexibility of having liquidity when you need it. So that lockup isn't an issue anymore. You don't have to think about how to calculate how much CRV you're going to put into a pool and for how long for. You can just take that 2.5x full boost because there is so much CRV sitting in this pool that is already gaining that boost, and you will be paid back from that pool that's already there and working. And the other thing is the CVX rewards on top, which you can then restake to earn more rewards. So all in all, I think this is a pretty nice platform. And then just from a user experience, using Convex compared to Curve, I mean, there is no comparison. I think it's just a lot nicer experience all around. So other thing to bear in mind here is, and I believe I'm right here when I say that there's no fees for withdrawing from Convex. I think it's a pretty low threshold for everything, basically. So I would highly recommend going to their documentation site. It's pretty easy to understand. So if we go down to fees, that was the bit I was talking about. Yes, okay. There's a 16% total fee on all CRV revenue generated by Curve LPs on our platform. 10% goes to the CVX CRV stakers, and 5% goes to CVX stakers, and 1% goes to the harvest caller. So fees are taken only from CRV revenue. No fees are taken from tokens from incentivized Curve pools. So the fees are actually, I think they're fine, honestly, for what they're doing. I think that's great. So definitely worth taking a look at Convex. Like I said, Curve is definitely a blue chip DeFi protocol, and Convex is a lovely layer sitting on top of it, enabling people like me that have a hard time kind of figuring their way through all these calculations and everything else to really get the most out of Curve. It makes that process a lot simpler. So as always, if there's a tutorial you'd like us to cover on the channel, try and bumble my way through it and understand what's going on, let us know in the comments below. Drop us a like, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the notifications, all that stuff. Hit something if you're feeling angry today, because you might well be. If you're wondering what this is my friend Simon One's artwork. We have a bunch of it in the office. He's just started his NFT drop, and I'm stoked for him because he's a good guy, and I hope he does well. That's it for today. I'll see you on the next one. Peace!